Oh yeah,
Why are you
without a
taking
doubt.
a picture of the camera and videotaping?
It's just for Snapchat.
Why are you the cameraing?
It's just for Snapchat. That's a cold open on its own.
Hello, LMC students, and welcome to Back Talk. This is episode 9 of the official Los Monados College Experience podcast. My name is Aurora Pierce. I'm the campus editor and social media editor for the paper, and I'm joined here today by Perry Continente, who's one of the editors-in-chief for the paper, and Anthony Martinez, who is our photo editor. And so we're going to break up the format a little bit this week. We're going away from the chronological format that we've been doing, and we're going to a more segment-based one. And so our first segment this week, we call it In the News. And so the big story that was in the news for this week was JACC, which stands for Journalism Association of Community Colleges. So what it is that it's this organizational body, and they put on conferences every semester. They have a 3-day state-level conference in the spring semesters. They have a 1-day NorCal regional level. There's also a SoCal one, but we went to the NorCal one. They have regional conferences in the fall. And so we were at this conference over the weekend, and exactly what it is that they get a bunch of different community college newsrooms. They meet together at this semester. It was at San Joaquin Delta College out in Stockton. Mm-hmm. And it's just a really nice event. It's kind of like our field day. They have a bunch of different workshops. They have a bunch of different speakers. They have some contests that you can participate in where they have you like watch this speaker or go to this event nearby and you have 1 hour or however much time it is to take a photo or to make a cartoon about it or to write a news story on it. And yeah, it's just a really nice event that we got to go to over the weekend.
Yeah, I had a great time. It's just always so nice to see all these other schools and to see what they're doing differently than us. We all kind of trade info.
Yeah.
It's very collaborative. There are competitions, and we do get competitive, but it never gets ugly, you know?
Yeah, it is really nice that outside of those specific contests, it's really not an atmosphere of rivalry.
Yeah.
It's way more about collaboration than you would necessarily think. Mm-hmm. And we actually have some vlog footage from it, taken mostly by Anthony, so we're going to cut to that now. So Anthony, where are we today?
Boom! Alright, so we're here at JACC, here in Stockton, here for the journalism convention. It's going to be a lot of fun, hopefully. They're going to have a lot of journalism type things and like convention like things, and a photo thing, which I'm really interested in.
Photo contest.
Huh?
A photo contest.
Photo contest, yeah, and I hope to win that. So, wish me luck on that. Hope I have enough battery. Still gonna try to vlog. Robbie's behind the camera right now. Say hi, Robbie. Flip it around.
How you guys doing? We're here at JCC at the beautiful San Joaquin Delta River College. There's no river. It's just San Joaquin Delta College.
We got up. Wait, hold on. Wait, 1 second. We got up at like what? Personally, I got up at like 5:30 or 6:30.
Yeah, I was up around then too.
And then we went to the college to LMC. Then we came back over here. So we were with Broom, Lily, Adria, Robbie, and me. We were listening to some slappers. And then
like 303.
And now we're
and
here.
Smooth Jazz presented by American Express.
Smooth jazz that we should incorporate into the vlog or podcast. Also, there's a free continental breakfast in there, and it kicks ass. It's better than the one in Key and Peele. That's all I gotta say. And that's what I'm all about.
We're just going in with this one.
What do you think about this continental breakfast, Curtis?
I am thrilled to have a muffin beyond belief.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
It looks good, man. Bless up.
This is not coffee. You can't legally describe what you're drinking as coffee.
Thanks, Robbie.
Okay, we're having apparently our newsroom Civil War situation is Team Green and Team
Team Black. Guys, just the nurse.
We should have brought the drone to cover this.
Am I in focus? Am I in focus, guys?
No, give me something to write about for the news coverage.
At all?
No.
I just want to say, in times like this, when I'm in the darkness, I really start to miss Eric. Yeah. Not even.
You can kind of see from that footage kind of what the event was about. And yeah, generally it's just a really nice time. This is the third one I've been to. Harry, how many of these have you been to?
This is my third also.
And this is my first
So
convention.
from the sort of the rookie entry level perspective, what did you think about it?
I thought it was great. It just goes to show that even though maybe we sometimes as the journalism productions we maybe compete for awards or certain things, but in the end of the day, I mean, we're all community colleges. We all have the same passions in mind, and I think it's just great to see and work with people who might do things differently or from a different place from the Bay Area or further away, and just see how they go about doing things and how you can work together to make to sharpen your skills. I think that's great.
Yeah, I've said it before out in the lab. Declaring your major as journalism is just joining one giant support group.
Very
honestly.
true.
But the conferences themselves are free.
And they're fantastic. The speakers talk about a variety of different things, from encouraging diversity in the newsroom to how to cover breaking news to
What
how to do
lights
beat
are.
reporting.
Yeah.
Like all this really cool stuff. And that insight from industry professionals is invaluable.
Also in the news this week is the land development story. So there's this patch of land over in Concord. It's the formal site of a Navy base. It's actually the site of the Port Chicago explosion back in World War II. But so it's this empty plot of land that has since been decommissioned, and they're trying to figure out exactly what to do with it. So they set up this thing here called the Blue Ribbon Committee for Campus District Revisioning Project. It's got Fred Wood and Greg Enholm on it, as well as a bunch of other people, and they're trying to figure out exactly what they want to do with this land, and right now the idea at the top of the card is a university.
Which it will be interesting to see this patch of land that for as long I've lived in the Brentwood area my entire life, and it's always been just a patch of empty land.
It's just been there.
Yeah, there are these little bunkers that you can see. That's it. It will be nice to see that being repurposed into something positive, assuming that it does become a university.
There's a number of ways they could go with it, and it's definitely a story that's going to be developing, pun intended, for a while, and it's going to be really interesting to see exactly what comes out of it, I think.
Why was the facility decommissioned? Just because of the explosion?
Just time.
Yeah.
They just no longer had a use for it, and so it's like, yeah, what should we do with this thing?
Yeah, it's about time then, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what's coming up? We are recording on the 5th. This should come out on the 6th, which is, of course, voting. Which is, of course, election day.
The California midterm elections will be Tuesday, November 6th, which is today when this podcast uploads.
And one of the things we did in last week's issue was we had our voices section where we asked people if they were registered, if they were going to register, and if they were going to vote. And unfortunately, the vast majority of them were not voting.
Or not aware even that there was an election.
Or not aware that there was an election. So it will be fascinating, and I look forward to our own coverage on the results of these elections and the LMC student participation or lack thereof within these elections.
And really quick note, since this podcast is coming up on election day, I'm going to make sure it does. Remember, you can actually register at the polls in California. I didn't know this myself until a couple days ago, even though I registered beforehand. It's definitely something you can do. So if you're thinking it's too late, no, just you can get online with a Google search, find your polling place, find out exactly what you might need to bring for the registration process, and you can just get there and get it done. It is not too late. Please go out there and get this done. It takes a couple minutes. And then our next segment is something that we call On the Campus. And so this segment is kind of talking about stuff that's directly, that's just been happening on campus, that's either coming up or just happened. And the first thing that we're going to talk about is Fall Festival.
So Fall Festival is the yearly LMC festival, which is put together by a variety of clubs, including Shenanigans, which is a drama club, and LMCA, the Los Monanos College Associated Students. It's this really, really impressive festival that, from what I hear, actually was more profitable than last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The haunted house profits, at least, were significantly up. And it's so they take over the college complex at night, and the top floor, or the CC2, the second floor, that's full of a bunch of clubs and a lot of vendors selling stuff and doing like cool Halloween events. I know last year Art Club had a thing where they would do a sketch of you for a small fee. And then the bottom floor, CC1, is a whole haunted house that they just work super hard, get it all set up, take it down on Friday, and then take it down on Friday. And it's this really fairly much more sophisticated than you would expect.
Yeah, this year's
haunted
theme
house.
was like a haunted hotel.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting that you say it was more profitable because we have to confirm that still. But I remember I was hearing someone at LMCS was telling me that they were actually going to have the price be higher. They lowered the price of admission so as to not compete with all those books. So if it's still set record profits at a lower price, that's pretty interesting.
I think it was $1 to go through, which is negligible.
It's $1.
Yeah. So yeah, it was just very successful from what I hear. Everyone seemed to have a very good time.
Also happening on campus, also sort of October-y, although I guess it happened more in November.
Wasn't it November 1st and 2nd? Dia de los Muertos?
Dia de los
Los
Muertos.
Muertos is November 2nd.
Yeah, November.
Yeah.
I thought that there was All Souls Day and All Saints Day. Yeah, so
Yes, October 31st through November 2nd. So anyway, there was a Los Muertos College Dia de los Muertos event that they were putting on last week, and Anthony, you actually took the photos for this and did the story for it, right?
Yeah, I did the photos and story, and it was
he's
just...
going to show it on the screen.
Alright, yeah, no, just looking at it for reference sake. But, no, it was great. I got to work with Victor Coronado again. He and his classmate, he and his students actually put this event together. They set up ofrendas in the classroom. They watched movies all day. And it was just nice seeing, the students actually, even if they don't celebrate Dia de los Muertos like regularly or every year, they even people like who were not of Hispanic heritage were participating. They put photos of lost loved ones on the ofrendas. They brought food as offerings, and it was just it was a very nice time for them to actually come together, create cultural tolerance, to create cultural awareness, exchange also as well, which is something that Professor Coronado actually he really pushes for that, tolerance and all that stuff. And with also something he touched upon also why it means a lot to him is because he has a Jewish wife, and as you know what happened with the temple, he's trying to, this is him also just trying to build more cultural tolerance for that, to see why people celebrate the way that they do or why they do things the way that they do. And to just build a better community that way.
For clarification, I believe what you're referencing with the temple was the mass shooting, right?
Yes.
And so just kind of combating that
Yes.
cultural intolerance that is so pervasive.
Exactly that, yeah.
How did you feel about the event itself, just as someone who was onlooking?
Oh, well, it was nice. It was really just, he's very open, so he allowed anyone else who wasn't in the class to actually be there and participate.
So
but
it was inside of his classroom?
Yes, it was inside the classroom, so it took place during regular classroom hours at the time. And, but it was just great. I felt like, the students felt really united, and, they came together. It was just a good time all the way around, so it was a very, very beautiful event.
Also happening on campus this Thursday, November 8th at 7 p.m. in CC 114. The Art Club is doing a free screening of The Iron Giant, and they've even got free popcorn for it. So if you're going to be on campus at that time, or if you can be on campus at that time, you should definitely check that out. And then our next segment this week is something that I call Review, in which we're going to talk about some of the reviews we had in our latest issue. I myself had a review where I went to go see the Golden Gate Radio Orchestra last Tuesday. They were at campus in the recital hall. It was $5 for students, $8 for non-students, and I really, really enjoyed it. So with the Golden Gate Radio Orchestra, they're this San Francisco-based orchestra, and their whole sort of gimmick is that they're meant to emulate a 1930s radio show. So they dress the part, even though it's a radio show. They dress really nice. They try to get as period possible with their instruments. All their songs are like show tunes from that area, 20s, 30s, 40s, and in general, it's just a really captivating performance. They also have this narrator who will come up. He'll start the show by going, "The Golden Gate Radio Orchestra is now on the air," and then he'll come in between each song to sort of give history and trivia on each song right before they perform it. It was also conducted by Louis Zuniga, LMC's own. And yeah, I thought it was really cool. I like jazz myself. I'm a big fan of sort of later stuff. I don't have too much exposure to this 30s, 20s, 40s era. But it was definitely really cool. They had a couple songs that had sort of a Latin influence with them. It was Karaoke and Music Makes Me, which is from this film called Flying Down to Rio. They actually had a sing-along section with one song was called Red Red Robin and another one was San Francisco. And where they had, your playbill had lyrics on the back. And so they went through a dry run so you could sort of get the melody down. And the problem with that is that with me singing along, I was like, shoot, does this count as me being the news?
Yeah. I think we'll let that one slide.
Yeah. But no, in general, it's just a really cool show, and if they have any ones coming up, I would definitely recommend them to a friend or to a viewer. The other thing that was my personal favorite is that they played Sweet Georgia Brown, which is the Harlem Globetrotters theme. And, like, unfortunately, they didn't have a whistler on standby, but they had a really strong brass section. It was just a really fun show. It was really nice. If you have any interest in that sort of time period or musical genre, I would definitely check them out if they're performing in your area anytime soon. We also had Alex Camilli talk about Pieces of a Man, which is this new album by Chicago native Mick Jenkins. And Alex described this to me as a jazz-influenced hip-hop album, and he really, really liked it, so you should definitely check out his reviews.
Alex Camilli has the best taste in music, and is just generally an intelligent and wonderful human being. So any of his recommendations.
He also does the outro-intro track for this podcast. Our final segment of the week is what we call In the Office, where we get to talk about stuff that's been happening in our office. And so, Perry, you want to take the wheel on this one?
Yeah. So Robbie, Mark, and I had a little competition where we were sort of betting on what was going to be in this Smash Direct, which for those of you who don't play video games or, have a social life, is a video in which Nintendo shows what is going to be in the next. This one was specifically for the new Super Smash Brothers.
Super Smash Brothers Ultimate coming December 7th. Tell us about the bet.
Okay, so the bet was we were betting on what characters and stages and songs and items and stuff were going to be in the game. And we have a video about that called the LMC Experience
Predicts Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah, Predicts Super Smash Brothers.
It's in the same vein of our WrestleMania predictions that we did last semester.
So anyway, the deal was that the loser had to play a terrible game and review it on the podcast.
Picked by the winner. Me and Mark tied for last.
Yes.
I believe that the point totals, because it was something, we did it, we're like +2 if your character gets in, -1 if you miss, but then there were some other complicating rules. You can see our video on it. I tallied up the points. Me and Mark were both -3, and Perry was 4. So Perry gets to pick a terrible game for us to play and talk about on the next episode of Back Talk.
Who's going to be in... So who actually made the final cut?
Okay, yeah, so Ken from Street Fighter, Incineroar from Pokemon.
And my favorite, Piranha Plant, will be coming as DLC. The lesser enemy from Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, the little one that you jump over.
Yeah, the one that comes in and out of the pipe.
Yeah.
The
plant itself.
Is a full playable character.
I think that's pretty cool. When I saw it on YouTube, I thought that was pretty cool. That makes me want to get the game now, actually, because of that. Yeah, no. See, I always wanted to buy Smash, but I could just never afford it on my own. But now I can. So I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Use that Valvoline money.
I know, now that I have that Valvoline money, that oil money, I'm gonna get Smash now.
This podcast is not sponsored by Nintendo or Valvoline. So that's all the time we have for this week. So until next week, I'm Robert Pierce.
I'm Perry Continente.
And I'm Anthony Martinez.
And this has been Back Talk. Thank you for watching. You didn't say thank you.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I kind of blanked out.